Good morning, everyone. I have tried my new hair stuff. From what it's looking like, don't know how this is gonna go.
Get ready, because this is year 6 of daily vlogging.
This is after I've put in the curl cream and I just let it air dry, or I diffuse it, but I'm not gonna diffuse it. So, I don't know. Not sure how that's going, which I didn't do the bowl method this time because I wanted to try what it would be without it. So today I have work, and I also have a FaceTime conversation with someone who last year when AWP did the auction, they basically won like screenwriting classes, and so we're adjusting it a little bit, but basically that is, we're having like, I think it's technically actually like our second meeting since that first meeting when I was out at those estate sales on the phone that ended up being much longer than like 5 to 10 minutes. That ended up being an hour. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. So that, well, I mean, that's at 11:30. And then I do need to message work though about knowing that the 2 days that I am shooting, now that I have my schedule for Jealousy that I'm in, I need to figure out those days and give them the heads up on that. So my hair is definitely, what I'm not used to is the fact that the cream gives it like this weird texture. I'm not, I don't really know how I feel about that. Okay, I just was looking up, my Google whatever, like, I had to clear like the cache and cookies or whatever, and so I was going to type in my website again, and look, so of course it didn't save it, but there I am as film writer. I literally come up on a Google search as a film writer. So when I walked outside earlier, like this morning, I was like, oh wow, okay, like it's gonna be a hot one today for sure. Yeah, it's 94 degrees outside, but feels like 103. Oh my God. So I finished with work. I finished late because I had my meeting today, and one of the posts that said 25 minutes, I was like, well, you guys want me to put 6 things in there for a merchandise post, and that's gonna take me longer than 25 minutes for sure. But it's fine. Had I not had my meeting, I would have still gone a little bit over, but I went like an hour and 15 minutes over. And of course by the end of that, I was like, like losing focus. Anyway, my meeting went well. I did get okay. It was comforting in a way because once my mentor clarified with me that it is not like they expect me to choose one over the other. Basically she was asking me kind of if I could give her, sort of an idea for them of like, what are these other things that I do basically, like the acting, and like I've had to swap my hours, which she did confirm too, that they very much appreciate the communication and switching the hours instead of just being like, sorry, can't work. And so it's not a problem at all. They just want to kind of get a gauge for everyone that works for them. Like, what are the other aspects in their life, you know, because we've had throughout the past like month and a half, we've had 2 or 3 writers that have had their last day with us, mostly just because they are on to other things. And so they just want to know, like, for me, for example, it's my goal is not to write for them for the rest of my life, right? Like there are other aspects of my career that I am, that is actually in like even more in my career path, right? Of like being a screenwriter and things like that. And so they just like to know where everyone is at, just so that they can, not to say sort of see something coming, but like to still keep them updated on like what's going on and things like that, just so that if it is someone that they have on their team that they're like, oh wow, yeah, so-and-so, this is like writing for blog posts is what they've always wanted to do. And so that still doesn't mean that that person wouldn't move on to another company at some point, but like they less expect for that person. So I kind of told the truth and I said, this honestly is kind of an in-between in the moment between, you know, like this is my first priority because it is my job, it pays my mortgage, and it's very important to me. But at the same time, I am also continuing to pursue the other aspects of my career that are my dreams, right? That is the acting and the screenwriting and things like that. Like that, and the screenwriting, not as much, because I can do the screenwriting in conjunction with it at this point. But if I was like pulled into a writer's room, like that would be, that would be a lot harder, and I couldn't really do that. But like for the acting, like I have other, you know, really, and honestly, it's crazy too how much now, and I was having a conversation with someone about this the other day, is I was saying how I really, I really need for people to stop seeing me as a filmmaker. And that sounds crazy, but it's because I don't consider myself a filmmaker anymore. I consider myself a content creator because, you know, yes, like I did ACEs and I create stuff for TikTok and I create like things like that. And I do the vlogs and things like that. And yes, from time to time, I will choose to do a film. But the thing is, I do not consider myself a filmmaker anymore. The only reason I was a filmmaker in the first place is because the stories I was writing, I was the only person who would take a chance on them and bring them to life, right? No one else was gonna do that, especially not at 14, 15 years old. Like that was not going to happen. So I did what I had to do to get those stories out there. Now I'm at a point where I don't want to do that as much, or if at all. And I really just want to focus on really a lot like the writing, casting, and then yes, the acting is like on the other side, but that's on the other side of the camera, you know? But like I don't, like I'm not the filmmaker that I was before I went to school. Like that is not my passion anymore. And being truthful, that part never was. That part never was my passion. I just did what I had to do. So I need I need people to stop seeing me as a filmmaker, which means I need to stop putting myself as a filmmaker. So really I've started to try to change my language to content creator instead of filmmaker, because those give off very two different things. I mean, honestly, I'm not really into directing that much anymore. The only thing I would want to direct is something that I wrote. But like I would not, if someone gave me the opportunity to like go in and direct someone else's writing, like I'd be like, no, that's not, that's not for me. Cause like I've been told that I have skill with it. In reality, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I do. So anyway, that's a little spiel. By the way, so I washed my hair this morning with the Prose stuff. This is the underside of my hair. Sorry. Underside of my hair. And it's been like this all day. Now the top of it, there's some wave to it, more body than usual. Not nearly as much as the underside, but you can see it peeking through. So I count that as it's doing something. It is now pouring down rain and I cannot tell you how happy that makes me. Anyway, I'm heading to bed. Tomorrow I have a taste test, woohoo. I'm also finally stopping by Ashlyn's house and picking up my mini vacuum that I forgot there. So to be honest, it's been a little hard to mentally prepare myself to go back, which is not totally what I was expecting. Because sure, like things didn't totally like, you know, end great, but like I don't know why there's this sense of like, I don't know, I wasn't expecting it, but I've definitely felt it, and that's really the reason why when Ashlyn would text me to like say, when I could stop by, or like, not when I could stop by, but tell me that yes, it was still there. Like, it took me a long time to respond to it, just because like I realized that would mean going back. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to book a session with my therapist and be like, hey, Sarah, what does this mean? What am I missing here? Because I think I'm missing a piece of the puzzle, why I'm feeling this way. And I'd like to understand. So anyway, I'm heading to bed. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. All my social media is in the description. Love you all.